Hi folks, welcome back. This is Danny Code, and this is going to be a Mashinky's tutorial on multi-engine trains. And what I mean by multi-engine is, if you can see here, we have this train here pulling a bunch of, or this engine here pulling a bunch of, these are plank wagons, and I forget the actual name of them, but they're plank wagons. And up coming in like a caboose here is another engine coming up and giving it more horsepower, more hauling power. So the theory is that instead of using one engine and just a few trains or a few cars behind it, we're using two engines and a bunch of cars, and that decreases traffic overall on the rails. So we're going to put that to the test. And to do that, I already have a few trains running that have multi-engines. You can see this one here, a few plank trains. You can see this one here that's going to get some planks, and this one here that's coming from the sawmill, going to bring planks down to the toolworks. So we're going to put on a whole bunch more trains and see what we see. I also have two things here. So I have the plank trains that have two engines on them, and I also have these log trains which have one engine on it, and which are, I think these are, yeah, so these are under 4 lengths. So if we put another engine and then put on the corresponding wagons to pull, then we can actually put 2 of these, as they are here, 2 of these trains as one train, but it'll have 2 engines. So let's do that real quick. So I'll show you what I mean. Let's pick up 2. We'll pick up this one. We already have that one selected. And we'll pick up, I'm going to go into build mode here because it's a little bit easier to see when we're doing things like this. And we'll do this one as well. So let me make sure that these have the same orders. And they do. They're going from station 5, picking up logs, and then going to station 6 and dropping them off at the sawmill. So I'm going to tell these both to go to the depot, and we're going to speed it up quite a bit so we don't have to wait forever. Oh my goodness, they go so slow on the first speed. I don't know how anybody, well, I mean, it's kind of nice when you're just casually playing, I guess, right? So let's go over to the depot. I have one here. And while we're waiting, I'll just give you a little preview of what we have here. So we have a toolworks down in the south here, and we have 4 cities hooked up so that we're gaining enough money tokens so we don't run out of those. That's very important. And then we have a forest here that's hooked up, and also a sawmill here that's hooked up. So what I want to do in this, and this coal mine over here as well, delivering coal to the toolworks. So what I want to do in this tutorial is go ahead and hook up at least, I think, this one over here, so this coal mine, because we're going to need more coal, and also hook up this sawmill so we can have more coal and also hook up this forest again, or that forest as well, so we can have more being delivered to the toolworks, so we can max this out. So we can actually really see, we can really stress the rails out with a bunch of multi-engine trains to see how well it does. So anyways, okay, so our trains are at the depot. So what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to combine these two. Let's slow down the play here a little bit. I'm just going to combine these two. So I'm going to take these cars and put them up into that one, and then take the engine and put it on the back. Now you can see that decommissioned that other train to the second train and put it all into one. So now we have just one train 18, and it has the same order. So I'm just gonna make that guy go out and kind of give him a little follow here. Speed it up again because we ain't got all day. So yeah, so this, and why, okay, so again, 2 is, the length of it is 7.66. We don't want to go over 8. You can, I don't know, I mean, when I play the game, I try not to go over the full length of the longest platform, and that is 8. That is 8 tiles long. So this number here, the length in the yellow, that's the number of tiles this train is actually taking, and that is a combination of engines and cars. And I also I put the engine. I noticed that when I do multi-engine ones, I don't want to put both the engines in front, because what that's going to do is it's going to make the cars overhang, or the wagons overhang. So, but if we put one in front, one in back, it allows more cars to be on the platform at one time. So that's a good thing. So I try to make it so we have an engine in back and an engine in front. So the cars are right in the middle. I tried to do it so we can have 2 engines in back, but that doesn't work. It doesn't work in real life, and it doesn't work. Well, maybe it would. I don't know. Trains can back up, right? But it doesn't work in Mashinky, that's for sure. Anyways, so you have to have at least one in front, and you could probably have multiple ones in back. Like you can have, if you had more, like 3 engines, you could probably have 2 in back, 1 in front. But I think you always have to have 1 in front. Anyways, so let's continue on and doing that. Let's go ahead, because I don't know how many I have here. Let me just slow this down real quick. Okay, so how many log trains do I actually have that are shorter log trains? So we have 2 more shorter log trains here. So I'm going to combine those as well. So that one, and wait a minute, that's train 18. Did that come up? And that one, there we go. Sometimes you click on it, it doesn't actually, I don't know why, it doesn't actually, you have to really, like, the target box on these things when you click on them are kind of small. Anyways, so we're going to make these guys go to the depot. And let's see, where are they? Speed it up a little bit here. There's one just coming around the sawmill, and this one is, so he's going down to the depot. Okay. So as you can see, I got a lot of traffic on the rails already. Okay, and then once we combine these two, we're going to hook up that other coal mine. We're also going to hook up, as I said, this forest here, and also, if I can find it, where is it? There it is. The sawmill near Garland. I like that name for a town. Okay, so it looks like both our trains are here. So we're going to do the same exact thing. We're going to take the wagons, put it over to one of the engines. And as you can see over here, we have 2. And once we put this engine over to, once we put train 8 over to train 17, train 8 will disappear. And there we go. And we'll just send him on his way. Alright, so that's good. Right, so that should help with the traffic up in this area here, because we're going to put a ton of traffic here. What is that? What do I see? Hold on as I fix my signal. Not that it would cause any troubles, but I can't have it looking like that, can I? Okay, so let's slow it down just a little bit. My first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to hook up this coal mine here. And I'm going to hook up all 3 of these things. What I'm going to do is I'm going to do a little time lapse, so you guys don't have to sit through waiting for me to build it. So yeah, so I'm going to hook up, as I said, this coal mine, this sawmill, and also we're going to get some more logs from this forest as well. Okay, so I'll see you guys on the other side. Alright, so welcome back. Alright, so as promised, I hooked up the coal mine, the sawmill, and the forest. So now that we have all those, what I'm going to do is I want to start delivering logs from this forest specifically to, and I don't know what the best way to do this is. So I'm going to, yeah, you know what, I don't think it really matters. I'm just going to do it to, this forest will be feeding this sawmill, and then this forest will be feeding that sawmill. And if that becomes a problem, I guess, I don't know, maybe if I needed to do it the opposite way, but I don't think it really matters. But if I did need to do it the opposite way, in other words, this sawmill here, I mean this forest here feeds this sawmill up here, and then this sawmill, this forest feeds this sawmill. I mean, alternately, I probably could have just kind of hooked this up, maybe some sort of rail from here going over here, so there's like a little bit of a shortcut. But all right, but just for this video, I'm going to just do it this way, just to highlight the multi-engine aspect of delivering things. I'm just going to put on a few extensions here just real quick, just so we have enough there. And I also want to put on the extension here because I don't have any in the sawmill here. I just want to do, I don't want to do the toy shop because that'll waste logs and put it into money, and we already have enough money, I guess. Well, you can never have enough money, but we have enough money coming in, I think. So yeah, so we're good there. Alright, so first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to create probably 3 trains coming from the we'll start with 2. So 2 trains coming from the forest near Baton Rouge, and we're going to do 2 porters, and then I forget how many, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, we'll do, well, start with 8. Let's see where that gets us. I think that's I think that's right. So let's put on the wagons, and then put on the, there we go, put on the extra engine. And are we, yeah, so that's perfect. So it's 8 and then 2 trains, or 2 engines. Okay, so let's give that guy orders to go from, I have too many windows open, I can't see a damn thing, to go from the forest near Baton Rouge all the way up here to the sawmill near Garland. And both sawmills, I just noticed, are named the same thing, but that's okay. We'll just call it 1 and 2, I guess. And then we'll go ahead and duplicate that train. Very nice. Okay, so let's set those guys on their way. So that's our first 2. So that should start giving us a good amount. I'm trying to close all my windows here. So many. After a while, you're like, oh my god, there's no game left. It's just all windows. Alright, so here are our 2 new trains. Train number 24 and train number 23. If my Spanish is right, that's 24 and 23, right? Anybody that speaks Spanish can correct me, because I'm sure I'm probably wrong. Okay, so alright, so those guys are on their way. So next thing I want to do is I want to start delivering more coal to our toolworks. Basically what I'm trying to do here, you might be wondering, is I'm trying to just throw a ton of trains on the track, just to not min-max it, but to edge test it, basically, in a way. Because I want just a ton of traffic going through this section here, right? I want a ton of traffic going through this section here just to find out. And I already know, I mean, it really does. So if you can use multiple engines, do it. I think for the most part they're good. I think the only time that they're not, and I have notes here, let me read my notes. I often don't take notes. So if, okay, say like you have one engine and that engine can pull 5 trains, tonnage-wise, of whatever you're pulling. It doesn't make sense at that point to use a multi-engine train, because then if you had a multi-engine train and you're keeping it below 8 tiles, then if your single engine train took more than 4 tiles, say it took 5 tiles, then you're using 2 engines I think it would waste too much fuel, and I don't think that is, because you're using 2 engines to pull less than 1 engine separate. Like two separate engines could pull more than 2 engines in 1 train. So if that's the case, then I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't use a multi-engine train. But if a multi-engine train can fit in less than 8 tiles, again, the tileage is, I keep it to 8 because of the platform limitations. But I mean, you can use 9 or I don't know however many tiles you want to do, but 8 seems pretty good. So if you can get away with 8 or less using 2 multi-engines and maxing out the tonnage, then do it, because you won't be wasting fuel at that time. I don't know if that made any sense. I hope it did. I hear myself explaining, and I was like, if someone explained it to me like that, I'd be like, I have no idea what the guy's saying. Anyways, so basically, if you can max out the tonnage with using a multi-engine train, do it. If not, it doesn't make sense, because you're using more fuel. And fuel is more important, I think, than traffic. But again, it all depends. So if you're really having problems with traffic, then go ahead and, even if you're not pulling full tonnage, go ahead and maybe use a multi-engine train. Anyways, okay, so here we go. So we're going to do 2 trains. Again, we're going to do the coal. So we're going to make the lins. We're going to do it with the lins because they are more efficient. They are going to pull more. And again, that's good for keeping it, let's just put both engines there. That's good for making it fuel efficient, is the word I'm looking for. So how many we got here? Okay, so we want to max it out. So there's 326, so there you go. So we have, and here's the example. So we have 2 engines on here that can pull up to 336 tons. And we have it up to 326. If we put on another one, it would be too much, and we're looking at the full weight here. And then it's under the 5. It's under 8, so it's 5.59. It's under 8 tiles long. Anyways, and again, that's just for this engine. So if you use a different engine with different tonnage, then that all changes. Anyways, basically, I would assume being more fuel efficient is better than being more traffic efficient. But again, it depends on the situation. Okay, so here we go. We got this, and let's go ahead and give this guy orders. Oh, there it is. Again, too many windows open. Orders going from, oh my goodness, going from our coal mine here. And we are traveling all the full length of the railroad here. Let's make this a little bit smaller so we can see what we're doing. And okay, so we got that. We're gonna do, I think we can handle 3 trains here if we can afford them. So let's duplicate this a couple times. I think, yeah. Yeah, I think we have enough wood. Yeah, definitely have enough wood. So 2 times it is. Duplicate. Nice. So start those on their way, and sometimes I'll stagger them coming out, because they'll hit the stations all at once. But I think because they're going such a long way, they'll spread out anyways, so it doesn't really matter. Just follow 28 here. 28. And I don't know why I'm, do I want to rename that? No. Not the button I wanted. Okay, so we have 3 trains going from, as soon as we get there, going from the coal mine up north there, and going down to the toolworks. So yeah, I mean, everything looks pretty good. I mean, we have, I mean, other than the passenger trains, everything we have on our rails has multiple engines, has 2 engines. So, and it looks to be, you know, we have a lot of trains on here now, but it looks to be pretty efficient. I mean, I know we have some stoppages here. Okay, so what else do we want to add? So we want to add, so we have log trains going to the sawmill, and it looks like the sawmill is all full up with 200 planks. So I want to add on plank trains going from that sawmill to the toolworks as well. So we're going to do that. Let's do that. And we're going to start off with our 2 engines. Put them together. And go ahead and do some planks here. So what do we got here? Close this. Alright. So we have 336, up to 336 tons full weight. So that's great. So that's a pretty long train. So 7.5 is just under the half a tile under the limit of 8, and we're pretty close to the full tonnage as well. So that's nice. I like that. All right, so we're going to go ahead and duplicate that guy. Before I do that, I want to stop. I want to make sure that the second engine is at the end again because it'll fit more of the wagons on the platform. And yeah, we'll duplicate it a couple times. Why not? So we'll start those guys on their way. Cool. Okay, so now that we have, I think we're pretty maxed out. I'm going to look at our resources and our production and see where else we can add some more trains as well. So like, for example, so we still have a good amount of planks here, and we don't have a ton of logs, so we can have at least 1 more log train visiting and delivering logs, and at least 1 more plank train here, so we'll do that. So let's go ahead and let's slow it down a little bit so I can catch these trains. It looks like we have a little bit of a traffic jam here, but it's not too bad. It's sorting itself out. So that's a good thing. In other words, even though you have trains causing a little bit of a traffic jam, they don't stop. That's a bad thing. Stopping is a bad thing. Because then you have to sort it out. It's kind of like sorting out a little bit of a puzzle. Alright, so let's go ahead and duplicate at least 1 of these log trains. And we'll do that by bringing up our depot and clicking on the log train and do duplicate. Start him on his way, and I wanted to duplicate it as well. I wanted to duplicate 1 of our plank trains like this one here, so we'll duplicate him because we have plenty of planks to go around. Alright, so that's good for that. Let's just put this because we're gonna have this depot open an awful lot here. Did I start him? Yeah, okay, so he's just waiting to get out. Let's speed it up a little bit. Alright, so how many planks do we have over here? So we're not doing great here. We can use more wood, or we use more logs. So how are we doing for logs at our forest here? It looks like we can add 1 more log train. So we'll do that. And I don't know which ones are servicing this. Here's one. There we go. Slow it down just a little bit so I can grab them. Duplicate. And start. Cool. So that should do well there. Let's speed it up a little bit. Alright, so what else can we do here? So how are we doing on coal? So we got, oh my goodness, we got a ton of coal. So we can have a few more coal trains as well. So let's do that. And I think after that, I think we should be good. We should be good. So this is a coal train, so I want to duplicate this guy at least twice. So let's get this guy, let's slow it down again. Duplicate him. And how are we doing? Yeah. Because these things are running off of, they're running off of money tokens, so I don't want to run out of money. I know I'm like adding a ton of these, but it looks like we have enough money, so we should be good. Okay, so let's see what we got. Let's give it the old test here. So it looks like, again, we added a ton of trains, but this corridor seems to be doing okay. It doesn't look like we have a little bit of a jam up here, but not too bad. Everything's sorting itself out, which is exactly what we want. Not too bad. Yeah, I like it. So, cool. Again, thank you to the viewer who led me onto this, because I was really only using single engine trains, and yeah, so I think this actually, using multi-engine trains actually works much better when you're considering traffic. Again, you know, consider fuel. Make sure that you're not using too much fuel. But if you can get away with it, use as many these multi-engine trains as you can, because I think they work pretty well. So, all right, I guess we'll leave it there. Let's go ahead and pick a train. We'll go over there. There we go. But yeah, so that's it. So in conclusion, I think, you know, these multi-engine trains, as long as they're under 8 tiles and they're pulling full tonnage, use them, because it definitely seems like it reduces the traffic load on the rails. So again, thank you to the viewer who pointed this out, and if anybody else has any other suggestions that I can test out that you see that I'm not using, or you think it can make my playthroughs a little bit better, go ahead and let me know, because I will test them out and I will use them. Alright guys, this is Danny Code, and I will see you guys next time. Bye for now.